Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have a hot topic of discussion for tonight, and I know a lot of people are probably still triggered from this video that Phil just put out. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. And I'm gonna just share my thoughts on his video because I went through the comment section and I wasn't very surprised to see it, but of course people were not happy about this video. First, I want to say hats off to Phil because this was not an easy message for him to share. It's not an easy message for anybody to share, especially somebody who is not melanated. So I just want to say thank you, Phil, for using your platform to truly enlighten the masses, even when these are hard pills to swallow. Now, if you are a non melanated person, I am not going to say anything that is going to be triggering. I hope not. I just want to give some light and clarity into what I feel like Phil was saying, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. I can only speak as a melanated woman, which is who he was talking about. The video is called God. Black people are the chosen ones. All right. So here's my first point that I want to say. I just want to acknowledge that Phil is not saying one person is better than another. And I think that's probably why so many people got triggered in this video from this message. So, acknowledges first and foremost, he is not saying that one person is better than another. Yes, we live many lifetimes. So many have experienced life being a Black person or being another culture. We experience different lifetimes. So I noticed a lot of people in the comments were like, um, we've all been every culture. I might not be Black in this lifetime, but I feel like I've been Black before. Okay, cool. Okay. So, yes, we do live many lifetimes. And so many of us may have experienced a lifetime of being Black or other cultures in different lifetimes. This is true. Okay. So, and if you guys see me looking down, I'm reading some notes that I took while I was watching the video and also reading the comments because I was shook. Okay. So, there is a certain work that you are agreeing to do when you incarnate into a melanated body. Just as there is a work that needs to be done when you jump into a white body or when you jump into an Asian body, collectively, we're all doing a different work. Okay. So this just means that we are clearing karma within different particular lineages. Okay. So if you incarnated into a melanated body, you're clearing this karma. If you incarnated into a white body, you're clearing this karma. If you incarnated into an Asian body, you're clearing this karma. This is what I'm talking about, okay? And so the burden of the work that is done through the melanated body is what I believe Phil is talking about in his video. Okay. So Black people are clearing traumas that will ricochet throughout all cultures. And this is why he's saying that they are the chosen ones. They have been chosen to do this work that is going to ricochet and have an effect on all cultures, whether you are Black, white, Indian, whatever you are going to be. Okay. So the work that is being done through the melanated bodies is going to I got the image of the sacrificial lamb energy, and that's why I feel like he was talking about Jesus in his video. Because yes, okay, a lot of people are like, yeah, Black people love Jesus, whatever, everybody loves Jesus, right? But no, it's giving sacrificial lamb energy. What does that mean? Black people are essentially the sacrificial lamb energy that is clearing karma and upgrading the consciousness of the collective. And I'm going to explain to you guys why I'm saying this. So, what I mean when I say this is that people who have incarnated into melanated bodies are carrying an energetic burden that other cultures will never know. And I get it. Yes, this does not negate the fact that everyone of every culture does experience trauma. Again, we are not negating or taking away from anyone's trauma. Yes, you can experience trauma as a white person. Yes, you can experience trauma as an Asian person. Yes, we all experience trauma. However, because of the work being done through melanated bodies, these codes are freeing everyone. So we're saying that the work that is being done in the melanated bodies in Black people is ricocheting and have an effect on upgrading the consciousness of the collective, meaning that you don't necessarily have to personally be a Black person to witness and receive the upgrades through witnessing the life of Black people and the culture. Okay, if this makes sense. So the collective consciousness is being upgraded and refined because of the melanated bodies and the work that is being done through the melanated bodies. The melanated bodies have willingly or unwillingly volunteered as tribute to be, or another example, to be guinea pigs for the expansion of the collective consciousness. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys an example. For example, would we have known or learned the lesson that slavery is inhumane if we did not experience it? Would we know that slavery is wrong if we didn't experience it? Some may say that we needed, as a humanity, to experience it so that we could learn what it means to be, to learn what humanity is, to learn what it is to be humane and kind to other people. So, to everyone arguing that we're all equal, we're all the same, right? You're right. We are. But would we be able to shout that if melanated people didn't go through centuries of oppression to upgrade the collective consciousness? Okay. So, again, someone has to go first. Black people are pioneering through oppression to uh, so that non-Black people will even know what equality is. Because again, if non-melanated people, if white people in this example knew that we're all equal, would slavery have ever existed? The answer is no. So there was a consciousness, a low vibrational consciousness that was held by a collective of people that allowed slavery to happen. So now we are aware that we are all equal. Yeah, it's easy to say that now, but I want to just say in the white lineage, the white ancestry, the European ancestry, they didn't have that conscious awareness at the time. And we know this because if they did, slavery wouldn't happen. Okay. So it's not just about slavery. I know white people get annoyed, or not just white people, just everybody. It's just like, when are you guys going to get over it? When are you going to get over it? Until everyone learns the lessons associated with the oppression of the melanated bodies, we can't get over it. And so that just is what it is. So I'm going to continue. So I want you guys to understand that if humanity already knew that we were all equal, which it's true, we are all equal, slavery or Black oppression would have never happened. Again, the melanated bodies had volunteered as tribute to be the sacrificial lamb to treat or to teach the collective this knowledge. Okay. It seems like a no brainer now, like, no duh, we're all equal. But there was a time in the collective consciousness that we did not know that. And through the melanated oppression, now we can say we know that. Okay. So clearly, non melanated people didn't know that because they learned it through the initiation of the Black man and woman. If Black people never fought back for their rights, understand that white people would still think that they have authority over Black people. And so, this again is what Phil is talking about when he's talking about, people thinking that they're better than other people, this sense of entitlement over other people's bodies, right? We melanated people were an example of what sovereignty looks like, saying, no, I am sovereign over my body. I cannot be your property. We are the same. Okay. And so these are the karmic lessons that are being learned through the melanated bodies. This is what he's talking about. Okay. So, yes, every culture has trauma, but the world is learning from the trauma of Black people. Did you know that? Did you know that the entire world is learning from the trauma of Black people? Okay. Our consciousness is being upgraded through the work being done through the melanated bodies. It's true. So, yes, we are the chosen ones because we have been chosen to carry the burden. It is a burden, to carry the burden of teaching humanity how to love everyone, no matter the color of your skin. Because believe it or not, there was a period in our humanity consciousness that we didn't know that, right? So, again, that sacrificial lamb energy, someone had to go first, be the pioneer to teach these lessons to the collective. Because if the collective already knew this to be true, they would have never enslaved or oppressed anybody. Okay. And I know someone's going to say, well, what about Jewish people? They were oppressed as well. Yes, they were. They were also clearing karma. So you see how it couldn't just be one group of people who had to be oppressed. Multiple people had to be oppressed, because if you see one group of people fighting their oppressors and, winning the fight against their oppressors, this is laying out a blueprint so that everybody who is oppressed can be set free. Do you understand this? So, again, it's laying out a framework or a blueprint that is upgrading the consciousness of the collective. Everybody can learn lessons from the karma being cleared through the melanated bodies. Okay? So, yes, the color of your skin doesn't matter, because I know the non melanated people like to, it doesn't matter. I don't see color. We're all equal. You're right. We are. But would you have known that if you did not learn that through the karmic clearing of the melanated bodies? The answer is no. Okay. And so, if you're still triggered after this breakdown, you need to go internally and ask yourself, why does this bother you? Okay, because there is a work that Black people are doing on this planet that is uplifting the consciousness of the collective, and we should be grateful that all people do not have to experience oppression for us all to get free, right? Can you imagine if we were all just taking turns being oppressed? Black people are going to be oppressed now. White people are going to be oppressed now. Asian people are going to be oppressed now. Indian people are going to be oppressed. Like, we gotta take turns because we didn't learn our lesson the first time. Do you understand? We are clearing karma and uplifting the consciousness of the collective, letting the melanated bodies be an example to everybody of how to walk in love and kindness and unity. Okay? So, I want to talk about why I believe Phil received this message. I think Phil received this download as a white man, even though, yes, he says that he has Egyptian ancestry, right? But he is visibly, physically a white passing man. So I'm just saying it like that. But he has received this as a non melanated man because Black people, many of us already know this. We already knew this. We did. But if we came out on the internet and said that Black people are the chosen ones, of course we would get the message back of, you're racist. You can't say that. That's your ego, right? And so that's why I think God gave this message to Phil, because he has a large following, right? The majority of his following being non Black people, I believe. And so, who needed to hear this message? Okay, not to say that Black people are better than other people, but just to say, just to acknowledge there is a work that Black people are doing on the planet, that because the Black people have volunteered as tribute to do this work, to be this example, to uplift the consciousness of the collective, everyone doesn't need to be oppressed. Again, huge Jesus energy, because what do we say about Jesus? Jesus was a sacrificial lamb. He gave his life so that we didn't have to die, or he gave his life so that we could all be set free. It's the same thing. Black people undergo oppression or undergo the pain of feeling like they were second class citizens in a world that we essentially created, but we're willing to pioneer and go first and be the sacrificial lamb or be the guinea pig, because there were lessons that the conscious collective needed to learn. And we wouldn't have learned it without experiencing it. Okay. And so I'm extremely happy and grateful that Phil made this video. And I am giving him his flowers. Phil is absolutely invited to the cookout. And I think many Black people are going to be aware of that. I feel like he is an an advocate and he's an ally for Black and melanated people, because this message needed to be shared, not from a superiority complex place, not from a place of we're better than you, we're gonna shit on you, we're better, blah blah blah. It's not about that. It's about acknowledging the collective upgrades that are happening because of the melanated bodies going first as tribute to teach the collective how to love each other. Because again, if we already knew how to love each other, we would have never went through the things that we went through. So obviously we had to learn how to love each other through people being oppressed and hating on each other, right? And Black people have gone through a lot of craziness. The lynchings, the beatings, the whippings, being stripped of your identity. Most Black people don't even know where we come from. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And so, yes, I get it. Everyone's got trauma. Every culture's got trauma, but there is no trauma. And we're not saying whose bullet hole is bigger than the other, right? Like we all got bullet wounds, right? Like if you're bleeding and I'm bleeding, I'm not gonna say I'm bleeding more than you, so your pain doesn't exist. That's not what we're saying. Black people acknowledge that other cultures are hurting as well, but understand that Black people are still under the systematic oppression, and we think it's all over and done with. People are like, just get over it. Slavery's over. You got your freedom back. Like, get over it. No, there are still systems of oppression that are keeping the melanated people down. And we still have to fight against this. And we will continue to fight against this because, again, the collective consciousness is being upgraded through us going through these initiations so that everyone doesn't have to experience it, right? And so I just want to say again, if you're a non-melanated person who was upset or triggered by this message, you need to check your privilege, okay? And I want to inform you of what's really going on. And I think that's what Phil wanted to do. Phil wanted to inform people of what's really going on here, okay? And I think a lot of white people are afraid that when Black people come back to power, back, because this is not new, okay? We owned and reigned over the lands, right? The richest man alive ever in history was a Black man, okay? So I just want to say that. So I think a lot of people are worried that when Black people take their power back and come back into power, that we are going to be angry and want revenge, right? For all of our pain and suffering. But the truth is, yeah, some Black people will still carry a lot of resentment because it is trauma that has been implanted in our DNA now that needs to be transmuted. And who's to say that white people in this lifetime won't come back as Black people to, again, help with this initiation of clearing all of this trauma that their ancestry might have caused in the first place, right? And this is not to point fingers or to the blame game. No, I truly believe that the strongest of the strongest souls and spirits intentionally incarnate into melanated bodies because there is a certain fight and power and passion and perseverance that is necessary to walk every single day in life as a melanated person. If you think it is a cakewalk, you are sorely mistaken, especially if you live in America, right? You might think that it's all over and done with because slavery is over, because Jim Crow is over, because people aren't getting snatched up and lynched in the square for everyone to see. But the truth is, the trauma still exists and it needs to be cleared. And there's still so much growing and learning that the collective needs to do. Okay. And so, yes, we are acknowledging, Phil is acknowledging the burden that melanated bodies carry to help the ascension of the collective. And if you cannot see that, there is still work to be done within you. Okay. So, the last thing I want to say is that, yes, some Black people are still carrying a lot of resentment. Because of the trauma that has been caused. But the truth is that Black people, melanated people, people who have chosen to incarnate into melanated bodies, like I said, are the strongest of the strong. And our souls are so evolved that we would love nothing more than to be the catalyst of unity on this planet. And so if it takes our ancestry being, uh, having to be martyred, right? We're doing the work. And a lot of us aren't even complaining about it, right? Like even today, in today's day and age, walking into a supermarket, walking into a store, I experienced this walking into a store, and all the employees look at you walking into the door and they don't say anything to you. But let a white person walk into that same establishment and all the employees and workers, hi, welcome to our store, right? So this work is still being done. If you're asking why we can't get over it, why it's not over, why it's not done with, why are we still crying about it? Because the work is not yet done. And it takes a non-melanated man apparently, and I'm not mad about it cuz I get it. I if I was a black person and a black person said, "We're the chosen ones," I'd be like, "Pfft, yeah, right." Right? So I appreciate, and it took a non-melanated person to present this argument to non-melanated people so that they can be aware of what is really going on. Okay. And like I said, the truth is that people who are incarnating into melanated bodies, our souls are so evolved that we are not going to, say, okay, now there's hell to pay. We're back in power now. What did your ancestors do again? Oh, you guys were beating us, you were lynching us, you were raping us, you were unaliving us, you were right? We're not going to be like, oh, there's hell to pay now. Again, there are going to be some Black people who still carry a lot of resentment because there are centuries and centuries of trauma. You got to understand that. It doesn't just go away just because we're like, okay, everyone's equal now. Okay, yeah, we're equal. And we knew that we're equal, but you guys didn't know we were equal. And that's why you treated us the way that you treated us. But now you're aware that we're all equal because we fought back and taught you and showed you how we wanted to be treated. Okay. So don't think that non melanated people did the work to know, oh, we're all equal. It's all unity. Now you know because we told you, because we showed you, because we incarnated into melanated bodies to carry the burden of having to teach an entire humanity of people how to love everyone unconditionally, regardless of your skin color. Now you know, but you didn't always know. And you know how I know you didn't always know? Look at the history. Oh, I forgot. They are trying to erase African history from the schools and textbooks. So, yes, it will require you to educate yourself because the truth is, true Black history was never taught in our public school systems. Why? Because if Black people knew what happened and who we were before the oppression, it would be a riot. There would be instant DNA awakenings, right? And so I'm just saying, I'm just saying. um, that is what I have to say about that. That is my commentary on the situation. If you guys are just now joining, please go back to the beginning of the video, watch it through to the end. Um, and I just know that we are coming into a time. What do they say? The meek will inherit the earth. Everyone's always talking about that, right? We are coming into a time where Black people are going to step back into the realization of the magnitude of their power. And I'm not going to say you better hope we are gracious and kind to you guys as we retake the throne, but I'm just saying a little kindness and tenderness and love, Mr. and Mrs. We're all equal. Yeah, we know that. But if you want to be the change you want to see, and now, yes, now the assignment of doing the work is on you, because we've already been doing the work being in these melanated bodies. We've been doing the work every single day. Is a test, is a trial, is an upgrade, is a fight, is a battle, just because of the color of our skin. We didn't ask for it, or maybe we did ask for it. Like I said, the strongest of the strong will incarnate into the melanated bodies because there is a work to be done on this planet through the melanated bodies. And again, there's a work to be done through the white bodies. The work that needs to be done through the white bodies is to acknowledge the faults and downfalls of the consciousness that used to be held. Okay? So, um, I really truly believe, and I think that it's timely that he put this video out because we're coming into a period where people's DNA is being reactivated. Melanated people's DNA is being reactivated. Non-melanated people's DNA is being reactivated. We're coming back online to these realizations. And so you're gonna see in due time. I'm like, we've all been just like watching the clock, waiting for Babylon to fall, waiting for the system to fall because it's all corrupt. And again, so many non-melanated people are just so okay being in this system that was created for your success, but it wasn't created for our success. Can you imagine having the workload of an entire nation being put on your back, and then that nation saying, "But you don't get to participate in this. We're using you to create this fine nation, but you don't get to participate in this." Can you imagine? Okay. So that's what I have to say about that. Does anyone have anything they want to add or contribute before I hop off? I'm really happy about him making this video. I hope that non-melanated people will watch this and will understand we're not saying this out of superiority because we think we're better than anybody, because whatever the case may be, just know that we understand the work that is being done through us. And a lot of people will say, "Why does God allow bad things to happen to people?" Right? Maybe we asked for this initiation because our consciousness had to rise. And I'm going to drop the mic on that. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much, Feel Good, for making your video. And you guys leave a comment down below. What do you think? Did this bring more clarity, more insight? Does it make sense? Are you still triggered? Let us know. We're listening. All the melanated people, the black people, the brown people, we're listening, right? And we're open to having these conversations. I think it's a positive thing for us to have these conversations. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.